Before this video review gets started, I would like to point out this disclaimer. None of the merchandise or products that I am showing in my videos are for sale, giveaway, or trade. If you like what I am showing within these videos, you can go ahead and purchase your own item. If it is a custom item, then you will need to make that yourself. If you can't buy or make your own version of the products that I am showing in my videos, that is too bad because you are not getting mine. So please do not ask me if you can have any of the items that I show within my review videos, because the answer is going to be no. Thank you, and please enjoy the review. Hello there, guys, and welcome to another Thomas Wooden Railway review. And I call it a review because it's not really a custom, because it's just the same old model. I've not made any customization per se, at least not entirely, but you probably have already read the title of the video here. And as you can see right here, I have my Thomas Wooden Railway Emily. This was the original Wooden Railway Emily that I got back in 2004 when Emily was just introduced. And I had wanted to get Emily because she became a main character on the show. She was introduced to the Steam Team, being the newest member at the time, and also being the only female engine until Nia and Rebecca were put onto the Steam Team. But for quite some time, ever since her introduction back in Season 7, she was not given a number. That is, until now. Ta-da! The number 12. Okay, so you might be wondering, or some of you might be wondering, how I got the number 12 on my original Wooden Railway Emily. Well, what I did to get the number on here was quite similar to what I had done for my custom Wooden Railway Joy and Naz and Leo. I actually went on and, took the little paint image, MS Paint image that I used to create Leo's number, so I can get a size accurization on the number. Just making sure it was a little small, or small enough, just the right size. So I just printed it off with the the yellow squares on the side of Emily's tender. I decided to just cover up those entirely because, I just was not sure if I was going to get the right size of the squares, at least how they were originally on the tender, just right. So I just decided to just re-add them on, along with adding on the number 12. And as soon as I had printed it, I cut it out, and I had taped it on there. It was a bit difficult because I was trying to make sure that a little bit of the original squares that were on the tender beforehand were not visible. And if you hear a clanking in the background, it's because my cat is down here and she is playing with the track that is just laying about. I did recently take apart a train layout, although I do plan on building a new one at some point in time. But just thought I'd tell you, just in case you were wondering what that clanking noise in the background was, and all that. Now, as for my overall thoughts about Emily suddenly getting the number 12, this was something that quite a lot of people had done in their own series. There have been quite a number of people over the years that have made Emily the number 12. There have been people that would put the number 12 on their Emily models, like their Wooden Railway models, or their Trackmaster models, or their Bachmann models, or whatever type of Thomas merchandise that they have, if it's not Wooden Railway. And they've also done that with MSTS or trains. I'm not sure if those are the same thing or two different things. I've personally never tried either of those out. But then here we are, like over 15 years, or about 15 years later, Emily finally has a number on her tender. This was something that I never expected would happen. I'm sure a lot of people did want this to happen, but I had my doubts that it was ever going to happen. But here we are with the number 12. Now, I'm not entirely sure what to think about this. I was, like when I first saw the information online that said that Emily was going to be given the number 12 starting from the 24th season onwards. Like the first hint that she was going to be given the number was a coloring image. And we did not know whether that was going to be official or if it was just going to be in a coloring image. But then we had seen some of the new specials come out that does show Emily with the number 12 on her tender, which indicated that she was officially going to be given the number 12. And the way she did it, which, spoiler alert for anyone who has not seen the episode Emily to the Rescue. I'm going to be explaining the whole story about that, or part of the story, so if you have not seen that episode yet, stop this video, go watch the episode, and then come back for the rest of the review. Anyway, in that episode, there was a safety inspection that was going on, and the engines were told that whichever one was closest to the search and rescue center when the alarm went off for the emergency, that engine was to go to get Rocky. And there were a number of engines that wanted to go and get Rocky. Well, Percy, Rebecca, and James all were attempting to get Rocky, but there was a crash that they had at the level crossing, and Emily needed to go and save them. Although we don't see her save those engines on screen, but we do see her saving Gordon from a collapsing bridge. Although the thing here is that Gordon wasn't on the bridge himself, he was actually going under the bridge. It was a roadway bridge. Emily went under it early on and noticed that the bridge was beginning to break with so many cars on board because the, with the level crossing block, there were quite a number of cars that were being held up. And Emily came in and saved Gordon by having Rocky hold up the bridge. And then, that was when Sir Topham Hatt had decided, well actually, we then cut to a scene of Emily returning to Tidmouth Sheds after all the other engines were. And Sir Topham Hatt said that it was time that she got a number. And she was painted the number 12. Like, when I started watching that episode, I noticed that she did not have the number 12 on her tender, and I had seen the 20-minute specials that came out that shows that she already had a number. So I figured maybe this was the episode where she was going to be given a number, and that was indeed it. She had gotten the number 12 on her tender. Now, if you have seen my New Engine Slideshow series, or have seen Felix Chang's New Engine Slideshow series, you may recall that I actually had given the number 12 to a different character, this being Jace, a red tank engine that looks like Thomas, because he's Thomas's brother, along with giving another orange tank engine, Zach, the number 13, and Zicky, the number 14, because at that time, Emily did not get the number 12 yet, nor was there any information that she was ever going to be getting the number 12. Just a whole decade ago, There was like no information. I don't even know if the idea was even conceived of at that time. I'm pretty sure that there were fans that were thinking that it could happen at some point in time. And wouldn't you know it, it did. So what about Jace, Zack, and Ziki? Seriously. I was talking to my cat. You know, she's kind of messing up the carpet down here. Just jumping around, causing the carpet to go all over the place. So, anyway, as for Jace, Zack, and Ziki, I have decided that since Emily is the number 12 now, officially, and considering that we already have an engine with the number 14, this being Charlie, so I guess now I can consider that he's the official number 14, I have decided that Jace, Zack, and Ziki are now going to be part of the Soder and Mainland Railway. Somebody did suggest that a long time ago when those characters were first shown in the New Engine Slideshow series. Although the reason for that was because at the time, Felix Cheng actually gave the numbers 12, 13, and 14 to Lady, Bill, and Ben. But since those are non-canon, I figured that there should be different engines with the numbers 12, 13, and 14 rather than giving an existing engine those numbers. But, you know, in this case, we now have Emily with the number 12. So that's very much different. As for whether or not we are ever going to get an official number 13, that I do not know. And it is also unknown if there are ever going to be any more engines that get numbers continuing on, or if we ever fill in the gap with engines, or fill in the gap of engines that have numbers with, you know, kind of an in-between, like how Harvey is number 27, but numbers 15 through 26 do not exist. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, and maybe I will actually provide a download for the number 12, or the little texture that I added right here, so that if you want to do the same thing to your Wooden Railway Emily, you can feel free to. I'm not quite sure if the Thomas Wood Emily is ever going to be released with the number 12 officially, but you just never know. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Right now, I got a mess to clean up. This mess, to be exact. And here's the mess maker.